Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Friday. I feel like I'm losing my voice. Or it sounded like I was losing my voice for a second. It's bizarre to be sitting out here. And I just made some coffee. So cheers. And I'm uploading 2 videos right now. And I already posted 4 videos. And I feel like we're finding some normalcy today, which is good. Last night was a good night. Had some tough talks last night, but last night was a good night, and got good information from our vet today. So I'm not feeling as hopeless as I was feeling yesterday. I'll get into that in just a second, but yeah, I'm feeling kind of like, I'm feeling very hopeful today, and I'm feeling like a sense of normalcy today, which is what I really needed. It was interesting because last night Alex and I had this long, intense talk. It was a good talk, and we needed to have it, but we had this intense talk about stuff with Boo Radley, and it was like an hour and a half, and like afterwards, we were just kind of sitting there, and he was like, did you want to, he was like, had started The Lincoln Lawyer, and he was like, did you want to watch something? And I was like, we haven't watched any of our shows yet this week. I said, we haven't watched The Housewives or anything. He was like, well, I can stop this and we can watch The Housewives. I was like, can we watch The Housewives? I was like, I need some normalcy a little bit. I said, I need for us to get back to our shows and have some normalcy. And he was like, yeah, absolutely. And so last night we watched, first we watched Real Housewives of New York. Then we watched Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And then at that point, Orange County had already been on. So we watched that. And then we went upstairs, and Alex watched something else. I think he was watching the first episode of The Lincoln Lawyer. And then I took a nap for a little bit, and then he fell asleep, actually. No, what was he watching? He was watching something. Oh, he was watching Watch What Happens Live. He was watching an episode of Watch What Happens Live, and he fell asleep when it was over. God, it scared the hell out of me. Oh, my God. But he fell asleep, and then I woke up and took little Boo Radley out and got him some more food and some treats and stuff. And then, I mean, last night I wouldn't say was perfect. It was, but we had no seizures last night. That was great. And his sleep pattern was very bizarre, though. His sleep pattern went from, like, he would sleep for an hour and then he would get up. Usually, like the last couple days, when I walked in the bedroom, like if he's asleep, he is like out. If he's asleep on the landing or if he's sleeping in his little bed on the floor, he's like out. And so, but I would walk in last night, like every time I walked in, he would like perk his head up. And so after a while, I just stopped going upstairs checking on him because I was like, let's just let the little guy sleep. But last night was good. I think I needed to say everything that I said on the vlog yesterday because that was just where I was at yesterday. And in all honesty, and I'm not saying that sometime in the near future we're not going to have to make some tough decisions, but that day is not today. And so I'm really grateful for that. And but I really, yesterday, I thought that's where we were going. It was just a lot of different things. It just... he just did not seem great yesterday at all. And then I wouldn't say he had a miraculous turnaround last night. I mean, it wasn't like he was 100%. First of all, I just want to say the comments on the vlog were so incredibly kind. You guys were so nice and so kind. And so many people were just, I mean, I got so many DMs last night. And everybody that sent me a DM last night said, I know that you're like relaxing or spending time with Boo and Alex. Please don't feel like you need to respond. I tried to respond to some people. Because, I mean, there were breaks that I was like playing solitaire and watching TV. And then I'd be like with Boo or whatever. But I mean, that's part of my self-care is like getting those messages from you guys. And it's really helpful. You have no idea. I had so many people that reached out to me and told me stories about their dogs at Boo's age and talking about their dogs passing and their dogs being sick and what they went through, and people really like relating to what we're going through and not knowing when it's time and being in that, you know, indecisive stage. And I just want to say it really helped last night. So many of the comments were just like, I don't know, you know what? I don't know what I did to deserve such a loving, audience for this channel, for all of my channels really, but specifically for this channel. I mean, you guys are just unbelievable. You really are. I mean, so many of you just like open yourselves up and are so vulnerable and just share so many things. There's several of you that just are like, I don't feel comfortable commenting, but I just want, like, they sent me DMs. There's other people that just to watch the vlog and put little hearts or, you know, whatever. Like, it just means a lot to me. That I can have a space to come over here and share what's going on, you know, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. So, you know, leading up to what happened on Tuesday night with him having the seizure, it was like every day I was like counting, where, you know, one of my favorite things I saw like on that forum was don't live for the seizure, live for the day kind of thing. But I was, in all honesty, kind of living for the seizure. I mean, I think I know that in retrospect because I was counting down each day, you know. I'm like, please, can we just make it to a month? Can we make it to 3 weeks? Whatever. And then Tuesday night happened, and then, you know, was it? Oh, no. It was Wednesday night, and then, what is tonight? Friday? Thursday was. So it was Tuesday night and Wednesday night happened, and it was just like Wednesday night we didn't even really know what happened, you know, and so it was just 2 nights where he was just lethargic, and he seemed disoriented, and he just didn't seem himself, and whatever. So last night I was like, if we can just make it to like, because he had the seizure at 8 o'clock, or the whatever happened the night before when he came running down the stairs. I was like, if we can just make it to like 8 o'clock, you know, then it'll have been 24 hours. I don't know why I'm in my head like that, but I am. Also, like, each dose of the medicine, I feel like, even though there were a lot of dogs that like have seizures right after they have their dose of medicine, I just feel like, okay, if we, like, that dose, he seems to do better right after the dose. So I was like, if we can just make it to 10 o'clock, whatever. So last night, he would like sleep for like an hour. I mean, he was super lethargic. I think the last 2 days had like completely worn him out, in all honesty. So he would sleep, he was moving around a lot. Like, he was sleeping in the bed down here when we were watching TV, and then he was sleeping on the landing upstairs, and then he would like be in the little bed on the floor and whatever. And so yeah, so he was like up an hour, and then he was like, you know, like walking around. I wouldn't even consider it really pacing. Like, he came over to us and stuff like that, and we held him a lot. But then he would like sleep, and when he slept, he was like deep asleep. And he kind of did that all night long, if you wanted the truth. Like, I went to bed last night. I came down here to watch TV at probably like 12:30. And then I talked on the phone for a little bit, and then I went inside. I'd taken Boo Radley out, got him some food he was eating, and I was talking on the phone, and I went inside, and he had gone upstairs and was asleep in his like little bed inside the bedroom. And then like an hour later, so I stayed down here and I watched shows last night. I watched The Golden Bachelorette, got caught up on that. What else did I watch? I watched something else. I watched an episode of The Lincoln Lawyer. Oh, I watched Sweet Bobby, the catfishing story. I actually did my video about that on my Peter Watches TV channel. And I was like, I just need to relax, and I just need to, like, you know, if he has a seizure, we'll deal with it, and, you know, just like if he's resting, and I need to relax, because I'm constantly like in panic mode. Like I was telling Alex this last night, it's like, if something good happens, I worry, like, is this the last good thing that's going to happen? If something bad happens, and Alex is kind of in the same space, but Alex is definitely not more, like, he's not like, you know, into the panic as I am, you know? Alex handles things a lot more coolly and calmly than I do. And so, but I think we were very, like, watchful over every move that he made last night, because we were just like, what's going to happen, what's going to happen? So he did good last night. I mean, like, he walked a lot, he slept a lot, I mean, and, like, that's a lot of what you hear from people that have, their dogs have seizures, or their dogs are starting Keppra or phenobarbital and whatever. This is just kind of like the first couple months of what they're like. So I actually texted, I was talking to some friends of mine last night, and, 2 of my friends that have dogs that have seizures were like, because I was like, I said to them, you know, Alex and I had this very serious conversation about like quality of life and stuff like that last night, and both of my friends were like, you know, I think good med adjustments with like seizures can be like a real trick to that and whatever. And then somebody commented, I just want to say this on the vlog, and said that you're a neuro nurse, and it just was really a nice comment about what you said, because I was already kind of thinking that, but I didn't really know. Like, I didn't know. I honestly, I thought that when we, okay, so Alex and I last night, we were standing out here with Boo Radley. He was okay, but he wasn't great. And so Alex kind of like, I was crying, Alex was crying a little bit. We were just kind of watching him. Our neighbor had been out here asking us some questions. He was like, how's the little guy doing? And so we were talking about it. And so anyway, think I said something to Alex about how do you think he's really doing? And he's like, I don't think he's doing great. And I said, I don't think he is either. And so we went inside, and I was like, I think we need to have a conversation. Alex is like, I do too. And I said, I think that we need to talk about what we think quality of life looks like. Like, at what point, basically we were talking about, I mean, it was a long conversation. It was like an hour and a half. What does it look like for us when no longer do we feel like Boo Radley's quality of life is acceptable for him? And then how long do we give that? Do we give it a day? Do we give it a week? Do we give it 3 days? What do we give it? And then towards the end of that conversation, I said, you know, we're talking about this very much as if, like, what does it look like in stage? But maybe we should also be talking about quality of life in a positive way. Like, what would we look for, like, if we thought he had a good quality of life? Alex was like, I think that's a great idea. So we both threw some things out, you know, about, like, what we thought, like, good quality of life was. Like, this is gonna sound so cheesy, but, like, him coming, like Boo will come up to us and he wants us to scratch under his chin. Like, that's a small thing. Or, like, when he comes in, like, him perking up. Like, Alex is like, he can't really hear that great anyway. But, like, I'm like, I know, but he, like, notices us and stuff instead of just being kind of disoriented and whatever, you know? Or a sparkle in his eyes, or him wanting to be on the bed with us. Like, we, like, came up with all these different things, you know? Or, you know, him licking his paws. Or not just it being, like, we're either worried about seizures or he's pacing or he's sleeping, but him enjoying his life as a dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, being able to, I mean, he's eating treats, he's eating a lot of food, but I think the medicine makes it, like, because a lot of people say that Kepra makes their dog super, like, eat aggressively. I mean, he's eating so much right now, and he'll eat his treats and whatever, but that's not, I mean, eating, sleeping, and walking is not a quality of life for Boo. So we came up with, like, what does it look like a good quality of life for us, and when are we like, okay, it's like, this is not getting better, and, like, and then how long do we give that? Do we give it through the weekend? Do we give it a week? Do we give it a day? Like, what do we give it? So last night, we had that discussion, came up with both of what those things look like. It was a really good conversation, and then I think we both felt better afterwards, because I think in our minds then we knew, like, because Alex said, I think we're both on the same page. Like, if this is what it looks like, and this is going to last, we kind of decided that we were going to wait through the weekend, and if, like, things didn't improve through the weekend, then we were going to have to make a decision by Monday. Like, Monday was going to be kind of it, because we weren't going to continue to, like, have Boo Radley just suffer, obviously, you know? And so, let me adjust this. And so last night, we kind of were both like, I kept on saying, you know, like, a lot of people say this is how dogs react. Sometimes even, like, a week after a seizure. Not to mention it was 2 days of him having, like, the second day, we don't know if it was a seizure, but, you know, whatever. So I said, let's wait and talk to the vet tomorrow. So Alex had to get up this morning because he had to go to CPR training for work. And then after that, he was getting an IV thing, and then he was going to go pick up Boo's refills on his meds, and then he was going to be home. So I said to him, I said, can you call the vet, like, first thing in the morning, just get a call in, because then, you know, she'll know when to, like, call us and stuff like that. Oh, she did call us. She called us last night, and she was like, I want to talk to you guys in person about what's going on, blah, 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 whatever. And she's like, I've consulted with the neurologist, and I've talked to the neurologist about what the movement forward is and things like that. And that was, like, late, because she, like, on the voicemail, she was like, we closed, like, an hour ago, but I wanted to make sure that I got this call to you guys, blah, 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 whatever, because I finally got the call from the neurologist and whatever, because she's been consulting with this neurologist about Boo's case, and especially because he's an older dog. So I think that's, like, a huge difference that in comparing stories. I don't, like, it's a lot of the stories that I read are people that, like, have younger dogs that have seizures or epilepsy. It's a completely different thing when you're talking about a 15-year-old dog that's a senior dog. There's a lot of different risks that come into play. There's a lot of different things that could be going on or whatever, right? And so it's a completely different situation. And so she wanted to talk to somebody that, like, you know, is a specialist and all that kind of stuff. And she was like, you guys can, like, take him in and go see, you know, whatever. So anyway, so she got back to us last night, but she was like, but I would like to talk to you guys in, like, person, blah, blah, blah. And she had left a message. And so, we, so this morning I said, can you call, like, on your way to the CPR training? So we called. Well, when he called, she was there. And so they said, oh, she's been waiting for your call. So, like, Alex talked to her this morning, and so he told her everything. She was like, you know, like, the videos of the seizures and stuff she had seen, and she was like, can you explain to me a little bit of, like, what happened and leading up to it and all that kind of stuff, because I had already talked to her about that. And so, from, like, his perspective, and so he explained it to her and all this kind of stuff, and she's like, And Alex said, you know, we had this conversation last night about like quality of life and end of life and what does that look like and whatever. And she's like, you know what? I don't know that I think we're there yet after talking to the neurologist. And she was like, I want to see how he does through the weekend. She goes, I don't necessarily think that we're there yet. She was like, and like I told you guys, she said, I will tell you when it's time. She goes, I'm not even going to mince words. I'm going to say it's time for Boo. It's like, we're not doing this anymore. She goes, but I don't think that we're there yet. She goes, I have a lot of dogs that I start on a seizure medication. And then she said, it takes a couple months to a year. She goes, no, we might not have a year with Boo because he's 15 years old. She goes, but it takes a couple months to a year to get the medication regimen and whatever. She goes, so we have a couple different options. She said, my first inclination is to keep him on the dosage that he's at. And she goes, and maybe this was just a fluke that just happened out of the blue for some strange reason. She goes, that happens sometimes. She goes, with dogs that have seizure disorder. She goes, they'll start the medication and 2 or 3, 4 weeks later they have another seizure, but then they don't for another 6 months. She said, so, because what she's saying, she always wants to be able to have room to move up in meds so that we're not at the end stage, if that makes sense. So like we're not ceilinged out. So right now we're on 0.5. So she's like, we can move all the way up to like 1 whatever it is, 3 times a day. She said, I don't want to do that right now. She goes, what I would like to do is keep it at 0.5. She said, if we keep it at 0.5, she said, and he has another seizure, then we're going to move it up to 0.75 3 times a day with the Keppra. She said, at that point, if he has another seizure, she goes, then I think what we're going to do is, she goes, then I'd like to move it up to 1 milligram. She goes, if he's still doing fine in between. She goes, if not, she goes, and you guys are talking about the quality of life, and the quality of life is not good in between, that's a whole different conversation. She goes, but if his quality of life is good in between there, she goes, then what I would do is I would move it up to 1, and then we could possibly even talk about adding another medication like phenobarbital or the zonisamide or something like that. And he was like, okay. And Alex was like, I just don't want him all doped up and meted up and whatever. And she was like, no, the Kepra's not going to do that. She was like, the gabapentin's more apt to do that. So she was like, but if he seems like he's having a good day, she goes, let's move the gabapentin down. She's like, the gabapentin is supposed to like be helping with like the pacing and things like that. So a lot of dogs that have like dementia or dogs that are pacing and whatever, like, or have pain, they put them on gabapentin so like it makes them relaxed. So we're moving the gabapentin down like we had been doing, but then we moved it back when all this stuff happened to the 0.3 for the morning dose and the noon dose, and then at night we're going to give him the 0.5 so that he maybe sleeps through the night a little bit easier. So she was very helpful about it. She was like, I'm not going to let like 2 seizures set me back. She was like, I have dogs that come in here all the time that have like 3 cluster seizures in a row, like within, you know, like 3 hours. And she's like, he had 1 seizure and the next night it was questionable what happened. She goes, I don't think, she goes, unless he's not doing great. Well, so Alex had talked to her like early this morning, and then he was in CPR training. He had texted me and he said, I'll just talk to you about it when I get home. And so I said, okay. So when I got up, I took Boo Radley out. I don't know what happened overnight. I don't know if he got a little bit of sleep. I don't know what's happened. I don't know if he feels better. But he is, I don't even want to put a percentage on it. He's just more the dog that we have had for a long time. He was like very friendly with the neighbors. In fact, Tiger walked by, and Tiger's not his favorite dog. And like Boo Radley, like dogs can walk literally 2 feet in front of him now, and he pays them no mind whatsoever. So, you know, Tiger that I always say hi to in the videos, she and her dad walked by, and Boo Radley was like, oh, like he like ran over, and I was like, I go, I'm happy. He's like, oh no. And he's like, Tiger or whatever. He pulled her back. I was like, no, this makes me happy. Because I said he hasn't been like this with any other dogs except for the neighbor dog, like a little bit yesterday, but this is more than that. I mean, like, it was like old Boo Radley. And then Alex has been holding him today, and he's been like, you know, going up and down the stairs and whatever. And he seems more himself today. Like, I wouldn't say he's like 50% even back himself, but more than the sparkle's back in his eye than it was even like 3 or 4 days ago. So I'm very hopeful, and we're going to take it through the weekend. I mean, if tomorrow or tonight, if he has seizures, or tomorrow it declines, then we will have hard conversations at the end of this weekend. We're just kind of taking it day by day, but I feel hopeful today. I feel hopeful that the vet wasn't like, I really thought we were going to call her, and she said, yeah, I think she's going to say it's time to put him down, you know? So I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful about it today. He's been good today. He's been like following me around a lot, and like more like how he was like 6 months ago. Like, I mean, he's still, you can tell, like he's still a little off and he's still a little disoriented and stuff like that. He's eating a lot, and he's been coming over to us a lot for, I call him the chin choppers, because he wants like his little chin like rubbed underneath. He'll go like this, come up to us. He's been doing that a lot. So there's, the personality is coming back. So I'm really grateful for that. But that's just for today. We're just going to take it a day at a time right now, is what Alex and I decided last night. And then if at the end of the weekend, we're going to see. I mean, who knows? I might get done with this vlog and he might have 3 more seizures tonight, and then tomorrow it's a completely different story. I hope not. I'm praying that that doesn't happen, but that might be the case, and then we'll have to make some tough decisions. I don't know. But I think having the conversation that we had last night and also talking to the vet, we know that if we have to make tough decisions, we will. I mean, he's not going to live to be 100. You know what I mean? If we have to make tough decisions, we will. And I think Alex and I are both prepared for that, and I think we're both on the same page for what that looks like. You know, with Pee-Pee and Tucker, like we knew the end. Like with Tucker, it was like, I mean, he couldn't stand. His eyes were rolling in the back. I mean, it was a no-brainer. You know what I mean? Pee-Pee kind of like got really bad and then faded quickly over like 3 or 4 days. It's so hard when it's like, and so many of you guys reached out to me in DMs and were like, oh my God, I went through the exact same thing. I know what you're going through. It's like one day they're great and the next day they're not. So I don't know what tomorrow's going to look like. All I know is I'm very, very grateful for, like, you know, in recovery, we talk about having a daily reprieve. I'm very, very grateful for having a daily reprieve. I felt good today. Like, I came downstairs and I was like cleaning up the kitchen. He was like trotting through the kitchen. He came up to me. Like, you know, there's usually kind of like a pattern to his walk. There wasn't today. It's not like he walks down here in the back. I mean, there's no pattern. He's just kind of like walking where he wants to walk, sniffing when he wants to sniff. So I was like in the kitchen at the sink and he came over and he like put his little head up and I was like, do you want a treat? And he like, his like one ear perked up a little bit. That hasn't happened in a while. And so I gave him a treat for no reason other than he's a good boy and he deserves a treat. I'm giving him all the treats. He can have all the food and all the treats and all this kind of stuff. The other night I was like in the kitchen and I was crying and I bought all this food, you know, for him. And so like I had all these plates. I was like, you can have all the food you want, boo. And I was like putting all these foods out. He was like, ha, like he was like wanted all this food, right? And somebody said something on the vlog. What did they say when I was explaining how he eats? And he just like they said something what that's called. And I was like, that's exact. What's the word when, you know, where you put, you know, in somebody's chest, you do that. Motorboating is what, I guess it's not, it doesn't have to be somebody's chest, it could be just water, but that's exactly what he does when he eats. Alex just cleaned up the kitchen because I cleaned it up earlier. Alex is like on his hands and knees like picking up each bit of food, and we have the vacuum and all this kind of stuff, but the lengths you'll go to for a little animal, right? But like, I don't know, there's just something different about him today. And like I said, I don't know that, you know, I mean, we're a couple of hours out right now from his next dose of medicine, so hopefully we'll make it to that and he'll do okay tonight. Between you and I needed a night of normalcy. I needed a night where I could just watch shows. And even though I was worried because he woke up and he went back to sleep, and I took him out several times throughout the night last night, like, it was more normal than usual. I was able to just sit there and relax. I got some sleep last night. Not a lot, but I laid down about 5:30, and then Alex's alarm went off at 6 because he gives him his medication Monday through Friday, and I give it to him Saturday and Sunday. In the first one in the morning. And so he gave it to him, and then when he came back, we probably laid down for a moment, and I was like still up, kind of like laying sideways looking at his, because his little bed is like underneath the fan to the side, and so I could see him, and he was like kind of like, you know how dogs do in their beds where they, and then he got up and he started walking. I was like, I think he has to go outside. So I took him outside. He pooped and he peed outside, did his business, walked around, got him inside. He didn't even want a treat. He just like walked, he went right back up the stairs. He wanted to be on the bed with us today. That was another thing. That's been one thing that he hasn't done for a while. And so he wanted to like he was kind of like looking up at the bed, and so we like picked him up and he was on the bed and he just kind of like sat there with us for a little bit. It was real cute because his purple bed's on the floor. So I was like, should we put his purple? And Alex is like, no, just leave it on the floor for now. I mean, maybe if things return, we'll, you know, he'll be sleeping on the bed again. But right now, I have all these blankets. You guys should see the bedroom. Like I pick him up to film videos. Like I put him like in the landing and I put him on the other side so you can't see him while I'm filming videos. But it's like, I took a picture the other night. Hold on a second. As I sent it to Tanya and Nikki. Well, I don't know that you guys will even be able to see it. But I was like, where is it at? Oh, there's my video that I was uploading. I can delete that. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Oh, you can't see it from here. But I have like my iPad and I was like watching TV in bed, and then over here you can see there's like his bed and his blankets and all this kind of stuff. And then we have all these blankets and pillows around the end of the bed. I mean, he has a lot of places to sleep in the bedroom. But last night was nice because I got to watch some TV. I tell you, this is so crazy. I saved Lincoln Lawyer to the very end. I think I've watched the first episode and half of the second episode. It's such a comfort show for me to just binge watch a series that's a mystery. I'm caught up on all my other shows. We have Grotesquerie. We didn't watch that last night. So we have that to watch, and other than that, no, wait. Grotesquerie and House of Villains, and I Have Found, that came on last night. So those are the only shows I think I have left to watch. Hold on. Grotesquerie, we have 2 episodes. We'll watch that tonight probably. We have 1 episode of House of Villains, and then we have episode of Found. Alex kind of had tentative plans for tomorrow night until all this happened, and then he canceled it. And I told him today, I said, Boo's doing much better today. If he's doing this well tomorrow, like, I said, feel free to like go out and whatever. And he was like, no, I said I was going to just stay home and whatever like that. So I said, okay. He does have stuff next weekend, so we're just gonna, but we're, taking it day by day right now. I did talk to my neighbor too, my neighbor next door, that I go to the pool with. We were talking today, and she was asking how Boo was doing and stuff, because, she's been volunteering to, come over here and sit whenever. And so I said, well, what I could really use from, 2 things I talked to her about. I said, she's like, anything I can do. And I said, could we start walking? I said, I have got to start getting back to my walkings again. I said, but like to have a social walk, because she's so much fun. And I said, she was, yes, let's do it. And then, so we were going to actually go on a walk tonight. I'll probably take one myself. But we were going to take a walk tonight, and she texted me, and she said, oh no, that was the other day. Okay, the Great Plant Migration of 24 has begun. Also, don't forget, we need to read the, oh, that was before. She said, okay, where's it at? She said, so I'll be gone tonight, starting at such and such time for a ghost tour in Irvington. So Irvington is this place. My neighbor's actually across the street. They used to live in Irvington. So this is like really like small area of Indianapolis. It's really cute. It's a lot of old houses. We went to the library there for like this Halloween seance like years ago with Melissa and Aaron. It's really fun. They have like a ghost tour. Oh, it's when we went to the, they have a Halloween parade every year. So we went to the Halloween parade a couple years ago. I don't remember. I don't think the Halloween, well, it was like Halloween festival, but then they had a parade, but we didn't even stay for the parade. But they have like apple cider donuts, or donuts and apple cider, and they have all these different like shops where you can buy stuff. It was a really fun day, so we did that. We don't have any plans. Oh, tomorrow Carlitos has a football game, so it goes until like 9 or something like that, and then they're doing something. They're doing like pizza and stuff after that, and so Liliana was texting me today, and then she was texting like in the family group text too. And so then I was telling Alex about it, and he was like, well, do you want to go tomorrow night? And I was like, well, we can. He was like, okay, but we have to be back here in time for Boo's meds at 10 and stuff like that. He's like, would you want to just go for like an hour? So if things are good tomorrow, we're gonna go. If things are good with Boo Radley, we're gonna go to Carlitos' football game tomorrow night for just like an hour and a half. But when I was talking to my neighbor today, because she was like, oh, this is what she texted me. She said, so I'll be gone tonight at such and such time for a ghost tour in Irvington, LOL, but no other plans this weekend. And I said, okay, have fun. We can do any day or even next week. And she said, sure thing, let me know. But when I was talking to her, she was like, what can I do to help with Boo? She was like, that, she was like, I know that, she was talking about her. She goes, I know that she's come and sat with you, or sat with Boo for a couple times. She's like, I'm home all the time. She's like, I don't go anywhere. Then she's going somewhere tonight. She's like, but I don't go anywhere. She's like, so if you need me to do anything, blah, 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 whatever. And I said, would you be willing to learn how to give him like his medicine through like a syringe? She's like, I've done that with her other dog that she has, her older dog that her parents keep. She's like, I've done that before. I know how to do it. And I was like, okay, well, he's kind of like jerky and whatever. She was like, oh no. She was like, because she knows Boo. And she was like, yeah, absolutely. She was like, if you ever need to go somewhere and you can't, like, I can, because she's a key. And she was like, I'll come over there, give him the meds, blah, 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 whatever. And I said, are you sure? And I mean, she's somebody like, I don't know that I necessarily trust somebody giving Boo his meds that doesn't know dogs well. I mean, she knows dogs well. She has trained this pit bull that she rescued. I mean, she's trained the hell out of that dog. She would be somebody that I would trust, not just to watch the dog, but like if we had to, like in an emergency situation. We have a wedding that we're going to on New Year's. I mean, God knows where we're going to be on New Year's, but Alex and I were talking about it tonight. The wedding doesn't go that late. Like, we could come home and give him his medication and go back out, but actually one of the things that Alex suggested is maybe like getting a hotel room downtown that's like dog friendly, and then we could go back and check on him like every hour. So we're actually kind of maybe thinking about that. Like, give him his medication and go take him out like every hour, because there's like 5 hotels around where they're getting married. So then we could just go back and check on him. And then if Alex wanted to stay out later, I could just go back to the hotel room. So we're actually thinking about maybe that for New Year's. But I mean, we also don't know what the situation will be at that time. So I don't know. I feel good today. I feel like we've got some solutions. Everybody is so concerned. Caroline's been texting me. Tanya and I talked for a long time yesterday. Nikki's been fantastic. Mel's been fantastic. Valerie's been fantastic. I feel like all my friends have just like, I don't know, like given me like everything I needed. You guys have been so supportive and so loving and so kind. I just want to say I really, really appreciate it. If things continue to go well through this weekend, my plan is that not every vlog will be the exact same. Oh, one thing I do want to say, because I was talking about my vet earlier, just because I don't want this to blow in, the battery stopped, just because I don't want this to blow up into something bigger than it is. I got a comment last time in my vlog, and somebody said, your dog or your vet only has a master's degree. You need to get a vet that has like, that is a doctor. Our vet, okay. I don't know what I said in the video yesterday. I must have just said our vet has a master's degree. So I've actually said this in past videos. The only reason I'm even clarifying this is because I saw the comment, and I don't want it to be like their vet isn't whatever. Okay. Our vet is very, very highly respected in Indianapolis, like very highly sought out. She is a legit vet, went to veterinary school, doctor of veterinary science and all that. She also has a master's degree. I've actually talked about this in previous vlogs. She has a master's degree in a specialty in area of like food, nutrients for dogs and things like that. She's a specialized master's degree in that. I meant to say in my vlog, like, she also has a master's degree. Like, she's not just like some idiot, whatever. I don't know why anyway, anybody would assume that we would just go to, you know, Susie's Stray Animal Shack to, oh, somebody got their vet certificate. I mean, just to even, that's why I'm clarifying it, okay? Just to make sure that people know that. And I'm sure that everybody knows it already, but that we wouldn't, you know, it is whatever. But anyway, so I'm hoping that if things continue to go well through the weekend, that not every vlog will just be like an update about Boo Radley. That he'll continue to do well and things will improve. I'll give little updates, but that I can get back to talking about like TV shows and what's going on and things like that. I do want to say this. I got a couple comments on the video yesterday from people saying that, like, please they were kind. They were really nice. Please let us know if, like, you take some time off, like, if something happened to Boo Radley. Because I was saying yesterday that I might just take some time off filming. Okay, if something happens with Boo Radley or something happens with me or Alex, I 100% will let you guys know. I can tell you that right away. I don't think that I'm the person, I don't know, that, I mean, maybe I was in the past, but, like, if I, like, have to go, I mean, if I'm sitting, I'm not saying that I wouldn't, but, like, if we took the dog to the emergency vet, we're just sitting in the waiting area and I was panicked, I might throw up something on Instagram and just be like, hey, you guys, can you send some prayers? I probably today would wait until we knew something definitive, but I will definitely put out something. I'll put it in the Vloggerinos group, I'll put it in the community tab, and I'll probably put it in my Instagram as well, those 3 places. I probably won't flood all of my channels, like, unless I would have to take a day or 3 days or 4 days or took some, you know, substantial amount of time off. I know that I post so much that, like, other people take 4 and 5 days off, it's nothing for them, but if I take 4 and 5 days off, people start to worry. I'm not going to make you guys worry. I would never do that to you guys, and I really appreciate you guys even asking for that. Like, that was really nice that you guys even said that. But yeah, absolutely. If something happens and I have to take a day off, I'm not going to just ambiguously put, like, hey, I'm not vlogging today. If I, for some reason tomorrow, like, I'm exhausted and I want to take the day off, the statement I will put out is, hey, you guys, I'm tired. I'm just taking, I mean, I haven't taken a day off vlogging in almost 7 months, so I don't plan to this weekend unless I just am, like, so exhausted I can't or something horrible happens. And in that case, I will, of course, let you guys know. I will put a statement out and I'll just be like, you know, things are not good or whatever. Or I'll say, like, hey, I just need to take a day off, but everything's good with Boo. I will be clear, and I will, like, be clear, conspicuous, like FTC guidelines. I'll let you guys know, you know, what's going on. I won't ever leave you hanging, just so you know. And I also want you to know that, like, it's, for some reason, it's taking me longer to get my vlogs up, so I don't want anybody to worry, like, if the vlog's not up by midnight, okay? Or something like that happens, or, you know, God forbid, if our electricity went out, I can't get up till the next morning. If that happens, I'll probably put out a notice too, because I just don't want, during the situation, I mean, I don't know that I necessarily would always do that. I used to post videos, you know, 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. When it's a situation like this, where I know you guys are like, okay, if he doesn't post, did something happen to Boo? Listen, I'm never going to let you guys, I mean, if for some reason we had to put Boo Radley down, no, I can tell you, the next 5 minutes is not going to be me consumed with making sure that I'm posting something about it. But within the next couple hours, I'm not going to let anybody worry. You guys have been so supportive and kind to us. I would never, never, never let you guys worry about what's going on with us or with Boo Radley or anything like that. I will let you guys know. And thank you for even asking about that. That just, I don't know, that just really warmed my heart when I got those comments. And people were like, Peter, will you please let us know if something happens? Absolutely. I'm not going to just take 3 days off and not let you guys know what on. And I can tell you right now, that's not my plan. Today, I felt so good and I was so happy that I was like, okay, let's film as many videos as we can. It was funny because when Alex came home, I was like, I didn't actually start filming until he came home. And I said, he was like, well, babe, where do you want to film? And I said, it's easier for me to film in the bedroom because the lighting's a little bit better. And God, it feels like forever since I brought out the ring light. I mean, it's literally been probably 2 or 3 years since I brought that ring light out. I need to maybe return to the ring light. But he goes, well, where's it more comfortable for you? And I said, well, the bedroom's better because the lighting's better. And then I can just come down here and upload the videos. He said, okay. So he said, well, I'll just sit down here. And he's like, I have to do some work anyway. So he's working on his computer, and then he was going to watch Lincoln Lawyer. And so he was downstairs. He was like feeding Boo and stuff like that. And it's funny because I'm not used to, like, you know, like I usually try to film when he's at work and stuff like that. And so I could like hear him downstairs, and he was like trying to move around quietly. And so and, like Boo Radley kept on, like, we have a plate that we put his food on. I've been kind of like just resorting to like putting his food, like if he can't, like, because he keeps on picking up the plate, like he'll step on it and stuff. And so I'm like, let's just move the food to like put it on the floor, put it on a paper towel, something like that's easier for a little guy anyway. But so he kept on like picking up the plate and whatever, and then like Alex was down there and he was like eating chips and he was like laughing and watching this show and he was like coughing. And I was like, I forgot what it was like filming videos with somebody in the house, but it was nice today. Today was a nice day to be able to get back to some normalcy, and I'm really excited to. So isn't that crazy? I filmed videos on all of my channels today when I didn't even think I was going to film any videos at all. I will say this, it's interesting because I say this a lot, that like filming videos is really cathartic for me. I feel really happy right now. I feel very, very hopeful, and a lot of that not only came from how Boo did. I mean, obviously that was the foundation for why I feel the way that I do today. But a big part of it also was just like getting out of it for a little bit. Watching TV last night really helped. I was playing solitaire and I was texting, you know, Nikki and Tanya, and we were saying funny stuff and they were sending me funny memes. I was like, tell me something funny, you know, and they were telling me, they were sending me funny memes and stuff like that. That was really, really helpful. Just to kind of find some normalcy. I don't know, I know it sounds like crazy, like that's self-care, but it really was kind of self-care to like help me find some normalcy and get back to what normal looked like last night a little bit and today. And today, with Alex sitting in the chair doing work and watching shows, and Boo Radley just kind of like walking around and taking him out and filming, you know, videos on all of my channels, like felt like a return to normalcy a little bit in a way that I really, really needed. And I don't know that that's what I necessarily knew that I needed out of self-care, that I needed kind of like this return to how things... Why is that song going through my head? Do you remember that song back in the day? A return to innocence. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you guys remember that song? I used to love that album back in the day. But anyway, do you guys know what I'm talking about? If you grew up my age, they played it a million times in a million different things, but do you guys remember that song? What was that? A return to innocence. I used to love that CD. I did not have that as a cassette. I had it as a CD. Return to Innocence song. Who was that by? I feel like there was a song in there called Maricopa too. Innocence song. Enigma. Oh my God, Enigma. I forgot all about that. When did that album come out? I'm gonna have to screenshot that because I might have to get that song. I totally forgot about that. Enigma albums. I love the sounds of outside. Release date. How old was I when that came out? It was released in 1990. That was my senior year in high school. Released in 1990, this album combines new age music and dance rhythms with themes of religion and sexuality. It was a worldwide success, reaching the top 10 on record charts in 10 countries. Love that album. You know what? It's getting kind of dark out here, isn't it? I don't know that I want to finish vlogging just yet. I'm going to go inside and I am going to check on Alex and Boo really quick. And then I think I'm going to like turn on the light and move over to that seat. But before I do, I just want to finish this part up and just say, yeah, I needed to return to innocence. I needed to return to normalcy today. I needed to just do what I do every other boring ass day of my life, you know? And I love filming videos and it got me out of myself and it just was fun. And, you know, Boo Radley was good today and it just was nice, you know? And Alex got to go out and do some stuff that he needed to do today, and I don't know, it was a good day. The weather was pretty today. I mean, it wasn't too warm, but it wasn't too cold, so it was nice. So today has been a good day so far. So I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna go check on them and see what Boo Radley's up to and see what Alex is watching. Then I'm gonna turn the light on because it's getting so dark, and I will be over in that chair when I come back, and then we will finish the vlog. So I will be back in 2 and 2. Okay, I'm back. Alex just took Boo Radley out. He was walking out here, and then I picked him up, and I said, you want me to hold you like a baby? And he was like looking at all of us, and he started getting scrambling, and then he wanted to go down. And then he was like running all over, and then he like, ran up here, and then he and Alex went inside, and I was like, can you leave the door open so I have a little bit of light? And he was like, yeah. And then I also posted my review video, and I posted my booktube video. So all my videos are up. This is the only video that's not posted yet. So, and I'll be getting this to you guys soon. Oh, it's so nice to... It is so nice to be able to just feel like I can breathe, have a little bit of hope, relax. I'm pissed. My husband is much further along in the Lincoln Lawyer than I am. I don't know why that pisses me off. But I want to be further along too. Oh my God, are you guys watching the Golden... Okay, so let's have some fun talk for a second, okay? Well, actually, let's see what the time and temperature is. So currently, the time is 7:24 p.m. And the temperature, do you guys want to know what the temperature is? It feels like, kind of like Halloween tonight. Maybe not as cold as Halloween, but it feels like Halloween. Let's look and see what the temperature is right now. The temperature is currently... Bum, 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 bum. The temperature is currently 64 and clear. And let's see what the temperature is supposed to be. Oh, 70 tomorrow. Look at this. Sun, sun, sun. 72 tomorrow. Oh, with a low at 39. Tonight's supposed to be... The nights have been really, really cold here recently. Like you can see my breath cold. I was sitting out here doing a cameo last night. I almost said what it was for, and I don't want to say what it's for because it's kind of like something very specific, and then if that person watches this vlog, I don't want them to ruin their surprise because I got it done in advance. But I was doing this cameo out here last night. I was like, you can probably see my breath because it was like, I think I did it at like 3 o'clock in the morning or something. I was like, checked on Boo. And then I was like, okay, I want to finish a couple of these cameos. So I came out here to finish some of these cameos, to do that cameo, and then I did a couple others. But you could see my breath, and I said that in the first one that I did. But anyway, so yeah, it's gotten really, really cold at night. So let's see what the temperature is supposed to be like the next couple days. Okay, so it's 64 and clear. Tonight's supposed to get a low of 37. And then tomorrow, 72, high. Mainly sunny sky, high 72, low 39. Saturday or Sunday, 75. Oh, it's going to be warmer at the beginning of the week. 75, low 43. Monday, 77, 47. Tuesday, 77, low 55. So Tuesday's going to be a nice day. We have couples counseling on Tuesday, so Tanya and I might go to the meeting on Tuesday night. We'll have to talk to her and see. And then Wednesday, well, it also have a lot to do with how Boo Radley's doing, obviously. And then Wednesday, 74. Oh, it goes from Wednesday, 74 to Thursday, 60. Then Friday, 63. Oh, we're gonna be able to see Halloween's weather on here. Ooh, weather. It's gonna be cold and rainy on Halloween, 63. But it just goes down to 48 that night. It doesn't go down that cold. So it's gonna be 63, and it looks like rainy. Overcast with rain showers at times. So that's, and then Friday the 1st, 63. Showers in the morning with some clear in the afternoon. I do think I was texting, I think I may have already said this. I texted Nikki the other night. I said, was it last night I was texting her? Because I was like, yeah, it was last night. Because I was like, just tell me something funny. So we were texting funny stuff. And I said, I have to tell you a secret. And she said, what? And no. This was a couple nights ago that I said this to her. Something about being ready for Christmas. And she said, I want to put my Christmas tree up right now. I said, I think I'm going to put my Christmas tree up November 1st. I am going to put it up earlier this year. Although Caroline came the other day and she was like, your mums are so pretty. She's like, my mums are not doing that great. And I said, you told me that your mums from Costco were going to open like that. And they didn't. She goes, no, they didn't. I said, well, I didn't even pay that much more for mine. She goes, where did you get them? I go, that flower market at the street where I get everything. I said, I love that place. So, yeah. I need to water them. We'll do that tomorrow since it's supposed to be, what is it supposed to be a little bit? Well, this weekend I'll water them. It's supposed to be, I don't want to water them when it's going to be like 37 outside. They look good. I may only have to make it like another week or two. I'll probably keep them out here, but I do want to get Christmas stuff early. I don't know that I want to get like Christmas stuff for the patio. I'll probably leave all this kind of stuff out here until like Thanksgiving, and then after that I'll do the patio for Christmas. Maybe closer. I don't know. I want to get the Christmas stuff up earlier. I'm like ready for... I love Halloween and I love spooky season and all that kind of stuff, but I feel like kind of like with being so worried about Boo and whatever, it's kind of put a dent in it this year. Like I've watched some scary movies and stuff like that, but like as far as like, I was the other night, I think it was last night, I was taking Boo Radley out and I was like, oh, there he is right there. Oh, he just came. Well, hi, honey. He came to the window. You guys want to see him? There he is. There's little Boo Radley. He just came to the door. But what was I saying? Oh, last night when I was taking him outside, I was thinking to myself, I haven't even watched Halloween. There's none of them. Not the first one. And what'll happen is, it'll be like the 30th, and I'll be like, I want to watch the Halloween movies. I want to watch Hocus Pocus. And then I'll be like, trying to get all the Halloween. This tripod, I had it all pulled up. This is the second tripod. So this one's actually working pretty well so far. It still falls sometimes, but not as bad. But, I know it'll be like the 30th of October, and I'll be like, I want to watch all these Halloween movies. I'll be like the day before, and I haven't watched all these Halloween movies. So, but I'm more, this year, I don't know why, I'm more into Christmas than I am into Halloween. I don't know, like, being so worried about Boo and stuff is kind of taking the fun out of it and stuff. Like, I'm excited to go to Caroline's for, you know, chili dinner night or whatever. And I'm excited to, like, see everybody. Although she said to me the other night, I thought she was having a bunch of friends and stuff. She's like, no, I just invited, like, one friend. And she's like, it'll just be family and stuff like that. So it'll be her son and his girlfriend. And then it'll be her stepson and his wife. And then Caroline and Mike. Who else did she say? Oh, her nephew and... So it's, like, Mike's sister's son and his wife and their kids are coming over there. But I said, Caroline, I said, they're like, because their kids are like young, like, I think like 10 and 8 or something. And I said, are they going to want to come trick-or-treat? She's like, we have a great neighborhood. For everybody trick-or-treats in Caroline's neighborhood because it's like younger. And so she's like, we have a great neighborhood for trick-or-treating. She was like, so maybe I said, but don't you think they'll want to trick-or-treat with their friends? And she's like, they live, because I guess I live like out in the country or something like that. She's like, I don't think that they have like a lot of friends like close to them. She's like, so I don't know. Maybe they'll come over here. Maybe they'll come afterwards. She's like, I don't know. But I told her, I said, we can't stay really late because we have to get over here to give Boo his medicine. And I said, would you care if I came a little bit early? And she was like, how early are you, like, that day are you wanting to come? She was like, because it's like starts at 5. And I said, I just want to be able to get out of the house a little bit and stuff like that. And she said, yeah, absolutely. She's like, when you want to come over here, like 3:30? I said, oh no, girl, like 4:30. She was like, you can come over here as early as you want, just sit and hang out with me. And we, you know, she was like, you can help me like get stuff ready. I was like, I can help you. I can come over there and help you get stuff ready. I said, we'll just see. I said, maybe I won't film a bunch of videos that day, you know, or maybe I'll have some pre-filmed. We'll just kind of play it by ear. And I said, because I was initially planning on going there at like 4:30. Like taking an Uber there because it's easier for Alex to meet me there because he works closer to their house, and so I'll just take an Uber there. So I thought, well, maybe I will go over there a little bit early, like 3:30 or 4. It'll have a lot to do with what she has to do that day too. So, but I'm excited about that. That'll be fun. And then, yeah, I really want to do Black Friday shopping this year. I wanted to do it last year and I didn't do it. It's something that I love to do. So, I may do that. May do try to figure out Black Friday shopping. But the fact that I'm even planning things, and, you know, you can see, like, I'm a little bit hopeful about this whole thing with Boo. I mean, even just now when he was like trotting around outside, like he was being so cute, letting us hold us, and then he was like, okay, I've had enough, Dad. And he went down and he was like running around and whatever, you know. I mean, even if it's just a day of that, that was a day that I needed that. I needed that today. So last night Alex and I watched The Housewives. And then what did we watch afterwards? Because he was like... What did we watch afterwards? Okay, so we watched The Housewives. I was kind of bored with it last night, if you want to know the truth. Like, Salt Lake City is so good this season. But New York and Orange County were kind of boring this week. Oh, after we got done, we watched Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and it was Gina Kirschenbaum from Orange County, and she was on there with Donnie Wahlberg from New Kids on the Block, but I guess he's also in the show called Blue Bloods. Does anybody watch the show? It kind of looks like a show that I would like. So they were on there, and I was like, oh my god, Melissa would like die if she knew this and whatever. So I was like trying to get a hold of her to let her know that. He was like, this was like pre-recorded. I was like, oh, it was? I go, no, it's on tonight. He's like, oh, this is on right now? I go, yeah, this is on right now. So anyway, and then after that was when we went upstairs. Oh, that's why he watched this. Oh no, maybe that was from a previous week that we watched that one. And then, anyway, because he watched some episode of Watch What Happens Live when we went upstairs. So we didn't watch Grotesquerie last night. I was getting really, really tired. And also I just like wanted Boo to be able to be settled upstairs in his little like bed area and stuff like that with us up there. He seems to do a little bit better like when we're both in the bedroom, like to go to sleep. I don't know why my back is hurting so bad from sitting. I'm like sitting straight up in this chair. So then like I took a nap and then I came downstairs, talked on the phone for a little bit, and then I watched The Golden Bachelorette first. And then after The Golden Bachelorette, I haven't really talked much about Dragula over here. Dragula is really good this season. I'm loving Dragula this season. But I didn't watch that last night. I watched it the other night. I've been watching Dragula, like, it comes out, I think, on, like, Tuesdays. I think I've been watching it, like, Monday late at night, or maybe I watch it the next night. I can't remember. But I'm loving Dragula this season. The cast is really, really good. I didn't think they would be that good when it started, and then... So Dragula is very much like RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, it's kind of the same setup, except it's, like, super monster. So it's, like, spooky drag, or scary drag. But it's also a lot of, like... latex and like special effects. I mean, it's phenomenal. The artistry of their drag is like unbelievable. It's like unbelievable. And so I wasn't real impressed with the cast like when they first came on, but like each of the floor shows, so they do a floor show at them where they like have to come out in like their you know costumes or whatever, and then their outfits, and then they do kind of like a floor show where they do like a drag floor show, like they perform. They just show like bits and pieces of it, or they'll have like something that they have to do, whatever. Like they do a band one. They haven't done that one yet this season, so that one's probably coming up. Where they're all like in 2 different bands, but then they judge them on their performance. They judge them like you know like do they match not on their drag. They say that the Boulet brothers, but it's really really good. I was like blown away. I've been blown away like each of the floor shows. Like their costumes and their artistry is just over the top. So last night I watched The Golden Bachelorette, and then I watched. Oh, I was like, is Found on yet? It wasn't on yet. It hadn't come on Peacock or whatever I was watching. Oh, and then there was another case, or there was another show. Oh, Hysteria. I was going to watch Hysteria. It wasn't out yet. I think it started last night. So I was going to go in and watch that on Peacock, because that's about the, like, 70s, 80s satanic panic. It's a new series that just came out. It's supposed to be really, really good. Woman of the Hour is about the Night Stalker, apparently. Or is that Maxine? Has anybody watched Maxine or Woman of the Hour? Let me know in the comment section below, because Alex and I do want to watch some movies this weekend. And I would like to watch some scary movies. And also, Tanya told me that she and her husband and son watched Blink twice. Because I was telling Nikki, I was like, oh, Tanya said it was really, really good. And so I had, like, Alex, so we might watch it this weekend. And she was saying that she and her husband might watch it this weekend, too. So anyway, what else? Okay, so I watched... Did you just turn the lights on? So I watched The Golden Bachelorette last night. This is what I was going to say about The Golden Bachelorette. I was kind of sad last night about somebody that left the show. If you watch this week, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was somebody that I was really hoping would make it to like the final 3. At least to hometowns, I was hoping they made it. Now I'm kind of like, did they just have him on there? If you know what, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but if you know what I'm talking about, it's like now I'm wondering if they just had him on there for production factor. Although I thought he was really good for her, and I really thought he was very handsome. And I mean, all the men are really pretty handsome on there. I mean, that are left. I mean, in all honesty, I would date any of them. I would date all the top 5 that were on this week, but there's a couple that I'm really rooting for. I think the best fit for her is probably Chalk, but I really, really like Jordan. I don't know why. There's something about, if I had to pick him, I would pick Jordan. I would date Jordan. Or Mark, maybe. But anyway, this episode made me kind of sad. And then I got done with that, and then I watched that catfish, Bobby. I started it the other night. I wasn't really that into it. So I was like, okay, let's give it another chance. A couple of my friends actually posted about it, like, on Instagram, and were like, oh my god, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, let me give it more of a chance. So I watched it last night. It's less than an hour and a half. I think it's like an hour and 22 minutes. It's called Sweet Bobby, A Catfish Nightmare. I did my whole video about it today on my Peter Watches TV channel. I watched that last night. It was good. It was better than I thought it would. Oh my god, the levels that the perpetrator went to catfish this woman is like insanity. I mean, it's like absolute insanity. It was interesting because, a lot of people use my picture to catfish me and stuff, or to not catfish me, to catfish other people. And I've had a lot of people recently like send me like personal information where they've like sent me actual stuff, like the links that people have gone to use my picture and whatever, which I did not realize this, but so you own your entity, you own your identity. Like, somebody can't steal that for like your pictures and things like that. They can't, like, as soon as you post them, like, you own them. You own complete rights to that. And there's actually, like, if I knew who was like the specific people that were doing that, like, there's like legal action I could take. They actually, like, after this documentary came out, at the end of it, they kind of talk about that a little bit, about legal action. Like, she actually sues the person, the perpetrator. And now, I was reading this article today that the guy whose images she stole is suing her as well in a civil court. She got, like, really, like, it said handsomely paid, and got a private apology as well. It was interesting, like, talking to these people, and like reading some of these articles, like some of the people like that are involved in some of the stuff I've talked to that have like researched this better than I ever have, and a lot of stuff that I've like learned about like catfishing, online harassment, and things like that is that, and really my interest only extends as far as like, knowing like people. It's interesting to me that I think that my picture, I mean, people are really nice, and they're like, it's because you're so good looking. I'm not like that absurd to believe that that's why they steal my pictures. I mean, I think it's just that, I think if you just saw my picture sitting in a t-shirt with a hat on, I think I seem very unassuming in my pictures, and so I don't think anybody would be like, oh, this is somebody out there, like, it's not like I'm sitting in like a 3-piece suit, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like somebody be like, oh, this is obviously, like, I think it's just, they're easy to use. They also use pictures of my nephews. They also use pictures of, like, it's interesting because they do use some pictures of Alex as well. They use pictures of the dogs, both PP and Tucker that had passed away. They use pictures of them as well. Pictures of like places we've got. They take any picture that I've had, they take and they use, and they make up all these lies about it and stuff. It's really rather disturbing. I mean, I have an entire tab on my Instagram just dedicated to the fakes, but like I don't even post all of them over there that get sent to me. At this point, I really usually only post the ones like, if I get a couple people that send me about one of them, I'll post it. Or if it's one that like somebody has sent me and they're like, this person really tried to like get money from me or take me down, then I'll post it. But I get sent them so many anymore that I think part of it is that every time I mention it in a video, I think somebody like makes a fake one just to like, because they think it's funny. So I don't post them all anymore. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't post them all anymore that are made. But there's enough over there for you. If you even went over that Instagram, you'd be like, how many, like, and there's probably 4 times as many of that as I've been sent, and there's probably like, I don't know, 60 or something like that over there. So like, I mean, 200-300 fake accounts have been made with my pictures on every dating site. For a long time, it was just women that they were catfishing, but I've had a lot of gay men that have reached out to me and been like, your picture's being used on like Grindr and Scruff and stuff like that. And it's interesting because they always say that like I'm from Europe and stuff, that I'm like from like, like live in the UK and whatever. I don't think I look, I don't know what that means, but I don't know. Like, I mean, I literally have like a baseball hat and, trucker hat and a t-shirt on, but anyway, But I've been reached out to about that. I mean, I've never been on a dating site in my life. I've never been on sugardaddy.com anyway. So, but what's interesting about that is there's a lot of things that I've learned, like, through that, especially reading, like, There Is No Ethan, and you know, talking to the author, and then other people that I've talked to about it that, like, really know, like, there's a lot of things, like, if you, because a lot of these people that have been greatly affected by it, like the catfishing, the online harassment, things like that, that at some point, like, she even says in the documentary, she's like, the police wouldn't do a lot, so I took power back into my own hands, or took control back. There's actually a lot that you can do. Like, there's nothing illegal about contacting people's family members, contacting their places of employment, contacting their schools. And There Is No Ethan, they do all that because she is an OBGYN, and so they do all that. There's absolutely that you can fully send anything that you want to send. There's nothing wrong with that. What's interesting that somebody reached out to me and told me was about the catfishing thing, that if any of the activity that you're doing is happening while you're working, and you contact that place of employment, and it can be tracked, like that they like were talking to you in a catfishing thing, or you know, harassing you or whatever while they're at work, that the place of employment can be held accountable for that, and so they could lose their job quickly, and that will go in their what do you call it, their employment record, and so it could also keep them from getting jobs further down the road. Also, people that are specifically in like IT or like work in computer technology and things like that, there's like some code of ethics or something that has to do with not like using technology to harm people, and if it's found that could like hurt their jobs and stuff later, that's actually one of the ways that like the women, it's not in the book, but like anyway, I found out about this later, that the women in like There Is No Ethan, because there was like a technological like part to it, that if you have anything to do with like you work in technology or anything like that, and especially like, you know, cybersecurity or anything like that, and you're using your knowledge to like, it's like a doctor doing harm to their patient kind of thing. So I thought that was really interesting, but a lot of these people kind of like take power back into their own hands after being catfished. You know, I think part of like Mary on Sister Wives, like her taking her power back is telling her story. I will say what's interesting in watching these documentaries is like a lot of these, I mean, it typically is usually women. I think men get catfished too. I just don't think that we hear those stories as much. I think what's interesting is like when I watched this movie last night, this documentary, and then reading the book, the stories, there's a lot that's similar about it. Like, the battery's gonna die. Hold on, I'll go get another battery. Okay, I'm back. I'm not going to vlog for much longer. I didn't realize it was getting so late. Boo Radley is in his bed in there, and which is interesting that he's been going in that bed because he doesn't love that bed. After PP and Tucker were gone, he just like hardly ever went in that bed anymore. They used to, three of them, they would sit in that bed together because it's so big. But he doesn't really love that bed anymore. And Alex has got AirPods in, and he's got his like robe on and the Snuggie, and he's like sitting there watching The Lincoln Lawyer. So I'm gonna finish this vlog up, and then I am going to go inside and relax for a little bit and start getting this vlog up. But what I was saying was, reading There Is No Ethan, and then watching this documentary, as well as, I guess, also, like, having people reach out to me and telling their personal stories about how people have catfished them with my pictures. And, like, so many of the stories are so consistent. Like, when the women start pulling away, they introduce, like, a medical issue. Then there's, like, some huge medical issue that happens. Like in There Is No Ethan, I can't remember what happened, but they had to have like a major surgery. In this one, it's like the guy goes into witness relocation and then has to have a major surgery. This is not ruining it for you. And a lot of these women told me the same thing. It was like, when this one woman was giving him money for certain things, and then she started questioning it, it was like all of a sudden his daughter needed money. And then like there were all these accounts about his daughter and all this kind of stuff. And I've had other people say that to me as well. There's always like, they always introduce like a medical issue to like, I think, kind of like approach the compassionate side of these women that are being catfished. And then I think also it's interesting to me, like I don't think you really can understand it probably unless you're in that position, but it's hard to watch it and be like, how are these women talking to these catfish men like 8 and 10 years and like never once do they ever talk to them on the phone or see them in person, you know? And I said that in my video today. I said, I think the overall important message is be very careful who you're talking to online or what you're believing. You don't know what somebody's motive is. You don't know why they're doing what they're doing. You don't know why they're saying what they're saying or who they are. You don't know that you might not be like hearing or reading something from somebody, or they're sending you information and they're the most unhinged person in the entire world. You don't know that, right? You don't know what their intentions are. I mean, in this, in Sweet Bobby, when you find out who the perpetrator is, like, and it's crazy. I mean, it's like, and the lengths of, you know, like I say this a lot in my videos, like I joke about it, like, oh, people having like 3 and 4 or 5, you know, fake accounts. People are like, nobody has that many fake accounts. She has 60. She finds 60 that this person has. She finds 60 active accounts that this person is actively posting on to make it look like it's a real account at any given time. I mean, there's a lot of people that have a lot of time on their hands, you know what I mean? So, it's crazy when you think about it from that point of view. And, but it's hard to watch it and not be like, how do you talk to somebody I mean, she was proposed to and all this, I mean, how do you talk to somebody for 8 or 10 years and it's like, you never once, like, I guess she talked to him on the phone, but like he would whisper. I mean, I don't know, because he couldn't talk because of his vocal cords, because he had the surgery and whatever. Just like after like a couple, I mean, you know, like I said this in my thing today, like I met some great people online. I have, like Mel and Nikki are 2 of my greatest friends. I never would have met them if it hadn't been like online through the book club, you know, watching my vlog, stuff like that. At the same time, I think if like 3 months had gone by, I wouldn't be like, you know, giving them every personal bit of information in my life. You know, there would have to be some exchange back and forth, and then eventually we would have to talk on the phone, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I just don't understand how, like, you don't question that at all. And for the book, There Is No Ethan, it was kind of a time period where that wasn't really possible. It was, like, before a lot of technology. But today, like, I don't know, like, for 8 years, I mean, she says it, like, halfway through. She's like, we always had conversations through Facebook. Like, you never, I mean, they show the Facebook conversation. So, like, for years on end, you're having all these conversations on Facebook. And then she's like, and then we finally started to Skype. But, like, he couldn't even, he couldn't talk because of this operation that he had. So she would literally go on and on and on and on and on and talk to him. Her younger cousin was talking to him, too. And then he would just, like, knock or something as a response. You don't think that's weird? Like, you don't ever, at what point, because in this one I was surprised, because it is, in the book There Is No Ethan, like, they question it a lot. The women constantly are questioning, like, this has to be fake. Like, there has to be, like, I want to believe it. I mean, I think this is the other thing, is that these people that catfish and do all this kind of stuff, I think, because it starts off as catfishing. This is why I said the online harassment. It turns into this online harassment. It turns into where they're not just catfishing them anymore. It turns into really, like, online abuse. Like, they're really being abusive to them, with, like, really, like, hurting them. Like, I mean, this person got so many people involved with this Sweet Bobby case, you know, and it's like, I don't know, it's just, I can remember talking about the book to Mel, and Mel was like, it's almost kind of like Stockholm Syndrome a little bit, you know, and it is. Like I mentioned that in my video today, it's like, I don't know until you're in that situation that you probably understand, but I think that they really, like, attack people that are really emotionally vulnerable. And so they're, like, more likely to maybe believe it. But what's interesting about that is, like, and There Is No Ethan, a lot of those women were, like, traveling and they were doing all this kind of stuff. So it was kind of like, why are you buying into this when you're meeting? I mean, they were meeting other men and saying, no, I'm not interested. I mean, other, like, reputable men that wanted to date them. They're like, no, I'm dating this guy, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And this other woman, like, I mean, she's beautiful. She's got a lot going for her. She could have met a lot of men. And she's, like, online. I don't know, there was a lot of it that I just didn't understand. I feel like I will say with this documentary, and I know that people have watched, like, listened to the whole podcast, and I'm thinking about maybe kind of listening to the podcast, but I feel like the documentary, it was very short. It was 1 hour and 22 minutes. I feel like it only showed bits and pieces. I will tell you the most interesting thing, and I think I said this in my video that I did on my Peter Watches TV channel, but when she goes and finds, like, the real guy that is, like, the perpetrator's using his pictures and everything, and he and his wife and their child, like, he has no clue that his pictures are being used. I mean, it would be like if somebody knocked on my door and said, I mean, I've had people email me the most horrendous stuff because they think that I'm, like, concocting all these, like, things behind, like, trying to, like, I've had people, I mean, some of these women have said the most horrific shit to me, like, you have no idea. And I try to always respond in, like, a very kind way. That doesn't happen as much anymore, but, like, I'll never forget, like, one night I went back and forth with this woman because I was like, listen, like, do not give this person any more money, because she was telling me how, like, she'd given him thousands of dollars. And she was like, you don't know what you did, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, here's my Facebook, here's my Instagram, here's my husband, here's, you know, she didn't want to hear it. And she called me the most horrendous names. And then she turned around and she like watched, I think she watched a couple of my vlogs actually, and she was like, I feel really, really bad. I didn't realize, blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, you know, I mean, it would be really easy for me to be like, F you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is not my problem. But I felt bad for her. I did. You know, because she had been like abused, like using my pictures. And I'm not part of that. You know, like there is no Ethan. The one woman goes out to dinner with the guy like that whose pictures were being used, and she said it's like surreal to sit across from this person that I thought I had a relationship for all these years, that he had no part in it whatsoever. So when they're showing that scene and he's like at his door with his wife, he's like, I don't know who this person is, and she like 100% believes it's him. Like, it felt so weird watching that scene, you know. I mean, it's kind of become this like joke that I talked about, you know, online, that people steal my pictures, but it's actually pretty serious. I mean, I don't know that people take it very seriously when I talk about it, because it does seem kind of like bizarre. It's just like, oh, somebody's stealing your picture. But there's a lot of women out there, I mean, probably in total at least 10 that have reached out to me. I mean, probably 30 to 60 that have reached out to me, but probably 10 that have been specifically targeted and like given a lot of money, time, and emotions. And I'm talking like more than a year of their time, by people that have specifically been using my pictures and pulled them in and said that my nephews were their grandkids or their children, and that their wife died horribly in this accident and they never thought they were going to find love again. I mean, it's so bizarre. I mean, it's so weird. You know, and so, yeah, it's sad. I don't know, like, and I think, like, you know, watching it last night, it's like, I think we all want love. We all want somebody to care about us. But I think the danger in that is be very, very careful, you know, like who you're interacting with online, because you don't know. You know, you just don't know. So, but I watched a documentary, and then I was like, I'd watched, I think, half of The Lincoln Lawyer. I don't remember even. Yesterday was, the last couple days have been such a blur. But I watched, so last night I watched I think I finished the first episode, and then I watched the second episode, or I watched half the second episode, I can't remember. I got so tired, I was like, okay, you need to go to bed. So I finally went to bed at like 5:30. Yeah, and that was last night. And then tonight, we'll probably watch Grotesquerie, and I might take a walk for a little bit. I've been trying to get back into the walking. This has not been a great week for walking, but if I don't do it tonight, I'll definitely do it tomorrow. But we'll probably watch some shows, and then I don't know if I'm going to stay up. Last weekend, with giving Boo his medication at like 6 a.m., because now that we're on the schedule where Alex gives it to him at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, Alex the last couple of days has been giving it to him at 6 a.m. and then going back to bed for a couple hours. Depending on how tired I am, I may go to bed at like 3. I know that's early for me, isn't it? I may go to bed at like 3 or 4 and then get up to give him his medicine. And then, I'm like such a light sleeper with all this anyway, because I'm so worried something's going to happen that I know that I'll wake up to hear the alarm go. I mean, Alex's alarms go off and I hear it like right away, and I'm like, like, okay, it's time to you want me to give it to him, or do you want to give it to him? So, or I might stay up till 6, and then, I mean, I'm kind of up anyway, so it depends on, I don't know if I get a good nap tonight. Maybe. I would love a good nap tonight. But today has been a good day, and thank you guys for hanging out with me. I don't really, you know, I say this in my cameos. You guys have no idea the life that you give me. I mean, you really don't. You know, I get to work from home. You know, I don't drive, so that is such a huge thing. I get to be with Boo Radley, especially now when he's like sick and stuff. I get to be at home from the comfort of my home, and even though it becomes like my life is small, and sometimes I feel like I need to be around people, to be home and feel safe here. I mean, you guys give me that opportunity. I get to come up with the fun ideas of different videos to post on my other channels, and I get to sit out here and talk to you guys and share my life with you. And then in exchange, you guys be so vulnerable and share so much of your life just to help me, or even just like heart it or like my videos and whatever, you know. People send me so many messages, and the comments are so sweet, and it's just, it's nothing that I ever expected when, you know, 8.5 years ago, I sat there and I made that first BookTube video and decided that I was going to start uploading videos on a consistent basis. It's never what I thought, you know, 8.5 years ago. And it really, honestly, I thought this is going to sound cheesy to say it, but it's true. It's quite beautiful. It honestly is. It really is. And I'm really grateful for it. I guess just know this today, when you're watching this vlog, you're really helping another person out. I know that sounds crazy, but you really are. By just even watching this vlog, you're, you know, allowing me to do something that I love every day, and I appreciate that, you know. I don't think people really understand what it really means to me. So yeah, and today's been a good day, and I'm grateful for it. And hopefully tonight will be a good night, and hopefully tomorrow will be another good day too, and then I can come back on here and vlog tomorrow, and it'll just be a fun vlog. We can have a fun vlog. Wouldn't you guys love to have a fun vlog? I would love to have a fun vlog. Anyway, thank you all for listening. I love you guys so much. I hope that you are having a magically amazing Friday and a fantastic beginning to your weekend. And if nobody, I didn't do this yesterday, I totally forgot. But if nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys. You know what? Let me do my full outro today. Remember these 3 very important things. 1, you can start your day over whenever you need to, or your week or weekend. Just start it over. 2, practice random acts of kindness, but shh, don't tell anyone. Just do it because it's the right thing to do, and it's nice to put some goodness out there in the world, you know? And 3, most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you, whether it's, you know, in a text message, a phone call, a postcard, I wrote a postcard, Maria, a letter, a DM, you know, just a nice comment, even like you guys do, you know, just saying hi to your neighbor on the street, whatever. You don't know. Like I always say, you might be putting a smile on their face. You might be changing their day for the better. You might be making them happier, and you might be the only person they talk to today. You don't know. Also, be kinder to one another. Love one another a little bit more. Like Julie says, Julie Moonves from outside the Big Brother house. Love one another. Be kinder to one another. Love one another. Be kinder to one another and love one another a little bit more. And most importantly, be kinder to yourself and love yourself a little bit more. Because if you're kinder to yourself, then you will be kinder to others. And if you love yourself more, then you will love others more as well. But not just because of that, but because you deserve it. Because sometimes the people that we beat up the most are ourselves. And sometimes the people that we need to wrap our arms around and love the most and love on the most are ourselves. You deserve it. And yeah, so I don't remember the rest of what I say. I think that's it. So I love you guys. And is that what I usually say? Is that how I end it? I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, I love you guys so much. If you're going through a hard time right now, I've been going through a hard time. You guys have given me a lot of love and kindness. I want to return that to you and send a lot of prayers, a lot of positivity and love for whatever you guys are going through out there. Through all of this, we can make it together. And I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you. Happy birthday, Lena.